Hey, what's up, you guys? We're going to be working on the 2021 planner this week. This is an A5 planner from Mochi Things. I'll link it down below. We're going to be starting with, of course, our cover. I have pre-printed this, but there is a learning curve because I tried to print it directly onto the journaling paper, but I managed to do it. We're going to put this inside of the planner, so this is what it looks like going inside. And I also did print out on the back the Deptress. I saw this online. I'll also link it down below. There's no way that I could do this by myself, so I printed it directly onto the thing. So our first page of the journal is actually the book challenge. It's gonna be 25 books this year. I haven't read since I think high school. School was really rough and really just ruined books for me, and I haven't been able to enjoy them, but I've been wanting to for a few years. So this is a template that I've kind of made up. Somebody has probably done it, obviously, but I didn't really like any of the ones that I've seen on Google, so I just kind of decided this way. I might have taken inspiration from a different template from something else, but I can't recall at this very moment. But this way, it's little rectangles, and I wanted to print out the covers of the books that I read this year. And I've left a little bit of space in between the books. Maybe I'll give it a rating, maybe I'll put the date of when I finish them. I don't really know what I'll put there, but I left a space just in case I want to write something. I've also decided on 25 books, mostly because it fits perfectly on the page, but also because 24 books is 2 books a month, and I've also left one extra book just in case I read a book very fast or whatever, happens. I'm out of a job next month, so I have a lot of time to read and get going on all the stuff that I want to get going to this year. The pandemic is not over yet, so we got to just figure out a way to save time. Ooh, I should have added a section for puzzles. I've been getting back into puzzles. I used to do puzzles as a child, so. Anyways, the next section of our planner is going to be the weight loss section. I've gained a few pounds over the years, and it's really starting to affect my weight, so I want to get back on it, especially now that I'm going to have time in 2021 with everything that's going on and the lack of a job. I don't think I have an excuse anymore. I'm cutting these out this way because it's actually easier to cut it this way, and also because I'm not going to be using the ones with the faces. I'm only going to be using the ones without the faces so that I can actually write my weight over the 48 weeks of the year. So here I am just figuring out where to put everything. I want to make sure I have everything spaced out and in a way that I like before I glue them. I know that's a little bit perfectionist, and you can totally skip this step, obviously, but I prefer to do it this way, and also just kind of to see how the colors look together because my printer doesn't work, or something was wrong with the cartridge. I've gotten a new cartridge since, but the cartridge didn't work, so there's color issues, and I don't know. So the next page is going to be the mood tracker. I tend to be a pessimist in life, although this has made me a little bit of a pessimistic optimist. Anyway, I do want to track my mood this year because I don't want to say that 2021 was all bad, because it's probably not going to be all bad, but we tend to look at life that way, and so I do want to track when I've been happy, when I've been stressed. And as you see, I do have anxious and depressed separately because I do have diagnosed anxiety and depression, and so if you have that, you know that being sad and being depressed, 2 completely different things. Being stressed and being anxious, 2 completely different things. And I'm actually off my medication at this point in my life, and I want to track to see how my anxiety and my depression have progressed or regressed. I want to make sure to have that if I ever do decide to go back to therapy. So this next page is my savings page. I've never actually saved before. I grew up pretty financially insecure and have lived paycheck to paycheck, but now that I've graduated and I hopefully will get a new job soon, I want to start getting a savings kind of in the way, and I'm just planning this sort of like board game type path. This is a design from like online, just Google like savings template, so I'm just copying it down. There's a bunch of them. It's not from a specific person. I just saw it on Google. Here I am trying to figure out where to put my goals. I'm only going to be saving $1,000 this year because, like I said, I've never done it before. So I want to start off kind of small. So it's not really disappointing if I don't get to 5,000. There are people who put like $5,000, $10,000. I'm like, what? In a year? How do you have that much money? I don't have that anywhere. So this is me hating that, so I changed it, and it's Road to 1,000. I did consider putting savings, but I didn't like that, and that's how I fixed my mistakes, because this is an off-white paper and I couldn't use whiteout. This next page is the month-to-month calendar. I'm only using one page, just because of the way my planner is set up. The pages end up being so one page would look better than 2 pages. As you can see in the top right corner, I'm using 25 by 35 lines for a regular month to be able to get 5 weeks. And for February, I'll actually be using 24 lines by 35 lines in order to get the 4 weeks for February. So the next page of this is actually going to be the habit tracker. I'm using a habit tracker because it's actually a great way to keep yourself on check with specific goals. Like, for example, I want to make sure that I work out as many days of the week as possible. And so a habit tracker actually makes it so you don't give up, because it'll show you like, hey, you've been working out for 14 days straight. If you give up now, it's kind of like losing momentum. So it's kind of a way to trick your brain to stick to things. I have used habit trackers before, not in a bullet journal. This is actually my first official bullet journal. However, I've used like workout trackers before, and it really does help, so I highly recommend. This specific way that I've drawn it, I actually am not super happy about, and maybe next time I will make the squares bigger, because it's kind of small, and also it leaves this extra space on the side because I don't have enough stuff that I'm planning to track. My next page is my budget planner. There isn't any specific goals that I have in mind, nothing like that. I just want to track my spending and track what goes in and out of my account on a daily basis, because sometimes it just feels like I'm hemorrhaging money and I don't understand where my money is going, and I don't really like the way my statements are set up on my bank. So I would rather track specifically myself separately in a way that my eyes enjoy looking at, so I'm not constantly hemorrhaging money. Where does my money go? I don't actually spend all that much money, so I don't understand. But I know that I'm actually spending it, obviously, otherwise where would my money go? But I also want to do kind of a no spend thing, mostly because it's a little bit for my pride, because I do not spend a lot of money most of the time. I don't really know why I stopped using a ruler there. But usually I don't spend money for weeks on end, and it's kind of like a mood boost, like, hey, I'm being a responsible adult. But in reality, it's just because I'm not in the mood to spend money or buy anything. There's nothing that's intriguing me. And here's an in and out sort of thing, so I can tell like how much money I made this month and how much money I spent. Am I in the red? Finally, we are at the weekly section of our planner. I like to have a schedule. I accidentally messed up, and we're going with Army time for Monday, February 1st, but that's okay. I like to have a set schedule to make sure I do all the things that I need to get done at a certain time. This is not always for everybody, and I don't always stick to it, but it is a nice way to have a structured day. I also have these water bottles that I printed out. I will link them down below as well because I thought they were really cute. I added a to-do list to anything that I need to get done that day, and I've also added a what I read and what I learned, because I do want to make sure I read, and I do want to make sure I stick to learning Korean, because I want to travel to Korea and I want to know the language. I've also added a meal section, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, an exercise section to make sure I get my exercises done, and I didn't show it, but there's also a journal section to write my thoughts at the end of the day. We've arrived at the end, and I've colored the cover. It looks pretty if I do say so myself. I've added some annual, weekly, and monthly tabs. They're removable so they don't rip the paper when I need to change the month. This is the Adeptress. Here's a closer look of the book challenge. Also, the finished product of my weight loss and mood tracker, the Road to 1000, February 2021. My habit tracker. See that weird space? I really don't enjoy that. The budget planner. And here's the finalized weekly. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate a subscription and a like. Thank you and goodbye.